Welcome to Mind Academy Sports, where we teach athletes the connection between their mind and performance. Listen, if you are a parent and you understand that your son or daughter has a mental block or there's some mental part of the game is holding them back, I want you to get in contact with us. We will help them destroy it in 4 sessions or less. This video, I want to talk about we talking about the ego as the enemy. And I was just thinking the other day, every single athlete that has came through this program, not every athlete, I'll say 98% athletes who came through this program, there's something great about them. Why? Because it takes a certain amount of humility to ask somebody a question, to have somebody go underneath the hood. So we're saying the ego is the shell, and there are lies. There are limiting beliefs that's underneath the surface. There are fears that you have that once you get to the game actually will end up holding you back. So a person who can say, hey, this is a fear that I have. This happens in the game. Sometimes I hesitate in the game. Sometimes I struggle versus this type of opponent. And you can openly admit that, then that means there's a certain level of greatness that lies on the inside of you, because some people can't do that. They like to keep the hard shell on. They like to admit that they think that they don't have any things that they can learn from. The mental game is stupid. You got to be really, and what happens is nothing has came to humble you yet. For you to say that the mental game, there's nothing to it, and you can rely on your talents, your physical ability, that's just not true. You can't. Not even LeBron does that. That doesn't make any sense. But, and that's what I always try to get a sense of. I want to get a sense of what in your life has caused you to be this humble, that caused you to be great, man. I'm just astonished about the amount of people, the great people, they come through this program. And what I found out was through hundreds of people that there's some point in their life they might have had, maybe this first part of their life, they were a late bloomer and they struggled before. And they know what it's like to struggle. They know what it's like not to play their best. It could be a sickness. It could be something in their life. It could be somebody who died or something. But there's something about them where they are humble enough to ask a question. And usually with athletes, especially professionals or whatever, it takes for them to be humble, for them to pull the Paul George, who I want to work with you, Paul, but to pull the Paul George and get into a big moment, hit the side of the backboard, for you to realize to cut that ego kind of down, for you to realize that you do need help and that this thing is a little bit more complicated than people want to believe. It's not just about putting up shots or just about being great, because obviously he's a great player and there's a lot of people who are great. But you actually have to prepare your mind for the game. You got to prepare your mind for the battle. And you got to be taught how to do it the same way you taught how to do a particular move or skill. You've got to be taught mentally how to always come and play sharp. What I found out is, these people who are naturally good at it, who are naturally killers, there's something psychologically off about them. And if you study Michael Jordan's trainer, I forget his name, Michael Jordan's trainer, he came out with a book, and he talked about the greatest athletes. There's a certain amount of darkness or, a dark side to him, like Tiger Woods. We know his sexual escapades, and Michael Jordan, how competitive he was. And not a lot of people is born with that. You got to kind of like not care about, I'm not saying you don't care about people, but you got to be cold-hearted and, so there's a certain way to get to that level. You can go the darkness side, the cold-hearted side, not fearing anything because you don't really care about a lot of aspects, or you can learn how to reverse engineer it. So the whole point of this video is saying, if you want to get to that level, you have to be willing to ask a question. You've got to be humble enough. You've got to know how to train your mind to actually get into that place. So don't ever think that you're so good, that you're so confident, that you're so talented, that you don't need to work on your mental game, because it's going to be that attitude that's going to actually cause you to fail when you would have succeeded. So remember, hey, you are one thought away from your next greatest performance.